I'll be speaking on a topic that most of us here are familiar with. And it is just like refreshing us again and also trying to speak about emerging issues in the area of impact of investigative journalism on society and democracy. Society and democracy are the key words here. And then investigative journalism. We know what democracy entails. We know it's the government that is supposed to be for the people, by the people, and for the people, of the people, supposedly. And we know that journalism, whether investigative or otherwise, is one of those channels or where democracy should be able to thrive. If we practice journalism the way we should, then I believe accountability should not be a problem. But the problem now is, these people that are the leaders or the arms that constitute what democracy is all about, the vehicle through which democracy happens. We have the executive, we have the judiciary, we have the legislature. But what happens? You find that we are at opposite direction. The journalist is seen mainly like an enemy of state in most instances. And those helping us in our democratic experiment feel they are not accountable to anybody. So I would like to say investigative journalism, I went to Google and found this. It's a form of journalism in which reporters deeply investigate a single topic of interest, such as serious crimes, political corruption. You see why we will not be on the same page with them. Corporate wrongdoing. An investigative journalist may spend months or years researching and preparing a report. Practitioners sometimes use the terms watchdog reporting or accountability reporting. The watchdog of society, that is who we are. Most investigative journalism has traditionally been conducted by newspaper, wires, freelance, especially freelance. Because in our situation in Nigeria, is it NTA that will do investigative journalism for you? Who is from Premium Times here? But let's give them an applause in absentia. They are doing what most media houses cannot do. Wire services, with the decline in income through advertising, many traditional news services have struggled to even fund. In fact, you've not paid the journalists for 7 months, 8 months, 1 year. Is it special funds that you will now keep for investigative journalism? So as we are discussing, as we are going through, we are also speaking about those pitfalls and all those challenges that we face. Many traditional news services have struggled to fund investigative journalism due to it being very time-consuming and expensive. And you know, these days, reporters, in fact, those that are helping me on my blog, they will say, "Madam, just send the ready-made press release. Me, I just want to copy and paste." That is where we are. Instant coffee journalism. Pour it in hot water and you drink immediately. Is it funny? Due to it very time consuming and expensive, and this is what we are unable to do most of the times. Journalistic investigations are increasingly carried out by news organizations working together, even internationally, as in the case of the Panama Papers and Paradise Papers organizations such as ProPublica, which have not operated previously as news publishers. You see, there are emerging trends. If we, the practicing practitioners of journalism, excuse my use of that, are not doing it, the digital world now, the new media, the social media has thrown this up to all comers. So long as you have the resources, the time to be able to invest and carry out this CIA-like kind of investigations, you're also an investigative journalist. So the growth of media conglomerates in the US since 1980s has been accompanied by massive cuts in budgets for investigative journalism. Please, how many schools even offer investigative journalism in Nigeria? I know UNIMED, because I graduated from there. Any other place? Any other school? Because in those days, I'm aware it was UNIMED and one other school in the southeast or southwest. Well, so we should have more schools offering investigative journalism. And now that the mass comm studies have been unbundled, so to speak. So even this one now, I don't think most people will take interest when they go to the universities to go and say, okay, I want to specialize in investigative journalism. But someone has to do it. So investigative journalism plays a crucial role in society by serving as watchdog, holding power accountable, uncovering hidden truths. It is a form of journalism that goes beyond reporting daily news, focusing on in-depth investigations to important topics that often require extensive research, resources, and time. We will examine the impact of investigative journalism on society and democracy, exploring its historical roots, key figures, and significant milestones. Well, origins. It has a rich history dating back to centuries, with roots in early muckraking efforts. It was the Industrial Revolution and rise of urbanization that brought about the need for investigative journalism as corruption and abuse of power became prevalent. Early pioneers such as Upton Sinclair, whose expose on the meat packing industry led to the creation of food safety regulation, set the stage for future investigations. This B is a very important and popular one, the Watergate scandal. One of the most influential moments in the history of investigative journalism was the Watergate scandal, which led to President Nixon's resignation, the relentless pursuit for truth by journalists Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein, aided by their anonymous source, Deep Throat, showcased the power of investigative reporting. Would we also call the Monica Lewinsky scandal? Yeah, I think that's one example too of investigative journalism, because somebody had to investigate, bring to the fore that this was what happened. This Monica girl, an intern, had this relationship with our own dear Bill Clinton. And I was in the US when it was unfolding in 1998. I was there as a member of an exchange program, the US International Visitor Leadership Program. I was in the 1998 March to April batch of journalists drawn from all over the world. We were like 22 of us. And it was big news that time. I was happy I was in the US at that time. So part two, the impact of investigative journalism on society and democracy. One, exposing corruption and misconduct. Now let's discuss exposing corruption and misconduct. In the last, we are how many years now? Yes, 16 plus 8 plus. PDP did 16, Abi? APC did 8. Plus now 1. Okay. So, and we know that a lot of corruption and misconduct have happened. In fact, we have never seen such. So here we are. Nothing happened. What happened to investigative journalism? It's like we are just lame ducks. Sit exactly. So nobody cares. The government, the public servants do not care. The politicians do not care. I mean, you can go to hell is what we get. So why investigative journalism? Do we have to go and investigate? What is the use? What is the impact? Are we changing anything? Are we changing behavior? Are we changing the way we do things? What has happened to our consciousness? And what has happened to whether we have good conscience? Those are the questions.
Ilimi shine ginshikin ci gaban kowace irin al'umma. Wane irin kima ne hukumar gudanarwa na birnin tarayya ta baiwa ilimi? Kasafin nawa ne aka ware wa bangaren ilimi? Ta yaya ake amfani da waɗannan kuɗaɗen da aka ware wa ilimi? Menene matsayin ingancin malamai da ɗalibai da waɗanda suka kammala manyan makarantu da kuma su kansu makarantun da ake gudanar da harkokin koyo da koyarwa? Domin samun amsoshi, kasance tare da Leaves and Worms a cikin shirin baje koli da faɗakarwa wanda ake gabatarwa a kowane mako a tashar AD4 TV Radio, wanda cibiyar Wole Soyinka Center for Investigative Journalism tare da haɗin gwiwar gidauniyar MacArthur Foundation suka ɗauki nauyi. A kasance tare da shirin.
Talking about those schools and the state governments and FCT authority not providing facilities, I know that too well. I'm a Rotarian, like you said, and we do most of those interventions for those schools. Some schools, we go there, they sit on the floor. Some don't even have a classroom block roof. Right now in Gidangimba, we are trying to give them a block of classrooms. That's how bad it is. Okay. There's one we did now, no toilet. It's we that gave them their first toilets for teachers, students, male and female, yes. Yeah. So, exposing corruption and misconduct, holding power accountable, which is one role that is ours. That's why we are the fourth estate of the realm. Even if they don't allow us, that is what we are. And we have to do that. So democracy, investigative journalism, I would like to call it IJ now, plays a vital role in democracy by holding governments, corporations, and influential institutions, individuals accountable. Investigations into political corruption, financial scams, and corporate malpractice. Even the EFCC now, when you go inside, scammers are scamming the scammers inside the scam. So, no be small thing. Uncovering social injustice. This one is very, very, very crucial because most of the times our attention are in government circles, corruption. But what about injustice, human rights abuses, inequality? You know I love that. Discrimination. Now they are bringing ministers. Out of how many did they announce now? 18, Abi. Out of how many? They just gave us 7. We need more. By bringing these issues to public attention, it sparks debates, mobilizes public opinion, and paves the way for social change. Investigative reports on topics like police brutality, environmental damages, and healthcare disparities have led to policy reforms and awareness campaigns. So while we do the other side of corruption, let us also look at the social injustice issues that are all over the place. Fostering transparency and public awareness. Strengthening democracy and entrenching accountability. IJ serves as the fourth estate, working alongside the legislative, executive, and judicial branches to ensure transparency within a functional democracy. By exposing corruption and providing reliable information, Journalists empower citizens to make informed decisions and maintain trust in democratic institutions. Investigative reporting supplements the limited resources of government oversight agencies, filling gaps. That oversight, that is one area where all the ills are being done. They collect huge sums for oversight. You do not see anything. That's one area where we should do more. Somebody is doing one project, follow the money, one young man. Journalists, let's follow this money they are collecting to know how they are using it. Filling gaps and investigating issues that might otherwise go unnoticed. Public engagement and participation. IJ has the power to engage and mobilize the public. I've done this. Okay. Through compelling storytelling, investigative reports grab attention, spark public discourse, and result in collective action. This public discourse, nowadays we have WhatsApp. And WhatsApp is one medium where fake news is all over the place. If you're on any WhatsApp platform, in fact, in some of the platforms we belong, you will see people that have nothing to do with journalism. They are the main sharers and sources of news. And you know that they even confuse the journalists. And then the journalists will pick it. And then they will go, before you know, they do copy and paste. Look at that issue of the change in the EFCC boss. Very credible media organizations carried that wrong picture of the guy. That is not the guy. You understand? So we must be very, very careful in this era of WhatsApp news. Somebody will sit in one corner, under a tree safe, create something, before you know it is breaking news. What are they breaking? Yeah. Breaking news. But most of the times, their spellings are wrong. You will just know from the way, as professionals, we should know. Let's not follow them in copying and pasting those things. Investigative issues like election irregularities, health crises, social inequality, drive citizens to advocate for change. I think that's the example that Dr. Alada gave about those school children. Those are social issues. We think they are too small. There are reporters that know me, I'm going to the National Assembly. What will I do with this small news, Some of this news, you can develop them. You can develop them and they become national news and get the attention that is required. We demand accountability from their elected representatives. Challenges and future of investigative journalism. Financial sustainability. IJ faces numerous challenges, primarily the economic pressures facing the media industry, especially now. Shrinking budgets, declining advertising revenue. Some of us have not produced our hard copies for months. Where is the advert fee coming from? Where do you get advertising from? And the rise of online platforms have led to reduced resources for investigative reporting. But that one has an advantage too, that online, because it also takes the news quickly to the people. Everyone can have access to the online news when it breaks well. Maintaining the financial sustainability of investigative journalism is crucial to ensure its continued impact and relevance. Technological advancements. While technology has provided new opportunities for investigative journalism, it has also brought challenges. Data breaches, see the fake news I spoke about, and the spread of misinformation threaten the credibility of investigative reporting. It is essential for journalists to adopt these changes, employ rigorous fact-checking methods, and utilize technology responsibly to maintain public trust. Lack of access to information. Despite the enactment of the Freedom of Information Act in 2011, which is supposed to make public records and information more freely available, journalists in Nigeria still find it difficult to access such information. Have you gone to any, since this freedom of FOI came into being, have you gone to any minister and say, by the powers vested on me on the FOI Act. I need this thing about all these contracts you did. Have you been doing that?
Every ministry has an FOI.
Okay, what do they do then?
No, if you go to make a request, the only thing is they may not give you the answer you are looking for, but you will definitely get information.
To simplify it,
No,
if you ask for the budget, they will give you the budget as approved. But how was it spent?
Exactly. The budget, we can get the budget online. It's everywhere. So
Like I did a report on like when I said I did the report on this Zamfara illegal mining. Now after that report, government released the sum of I can't remember how many millions were released to be shared between the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Mines and Steel, and Ministry of Environment. Now I was covering the mines and steel there, so I went to them seeking to find out what they did with their own share of the
Ministry of Environment.
Ministry of Mines and Steel.
Mine.
Yes. So I but they gave me that report here. This is what they said. There was a machine they bought. Now I have to follow up back to Zamfara to find out is the machine there. Yes, they brought a machine that nobody could use. They actually bought the machine. But who knows how to use the machine was a problem because it was actually, in fact, people that brought the machine didn't fix it. So it was just there like, there are lots of stories in Zamfara if you can risk it.
Journalists in Nigeria find it difficult to access such information. This makes investigative journalism very crucial for accountability purposes and for democracy to thrive. So in concluding this part, investigative journalism has a profound impact on society and democracy. From its historical roots to its modern day innovations, it has exposed corruption, where they have succeeded in using that form of journalism, and exposed corruption, held power accountable, fostered transparency. Despite these challenges it faces, IJ remains an indispensable pillar of democracy, ensuring that the voices of the marginalized are heard and that truth prevails. In Nigeria, mention must be made of Premium Times, who despite the dangers and challenges associated with IG, have been instrumental in ensuring that such lights are on government agencies on those fronts. Did I say thank you? AD, I will add that. Because you are in the forefront, because what you are doing now will produce people that will take interest in that arm. Because they need financing, they need encouragement.
Platform for this, so I encourage my colleagues here, take advantage of this new, I think I've talked to you about this, take advantage of this. It's huge, the market is huge. And because not many people are taking it, the regular journalists in Nigeria do not take this serious. We don't. You have your job now, just go and work for your plan, you get. But this is a huge market that you can take advantage of. Early this year, I got a very good grant that afforded me the opportunity to buy almost all my working equipment and all of that. And I still lost that. Okay, and also I have found that look for organizations that you can partner with. Like I just mentioned CJID here. They don't just CJID, AD for TV, radio, all of this they don't teach you. They are not the regular media. They are not them say journalists. These are people that when you can sit and learn from them, you meet global standards, and this opens doors for you anywhere. So take advantage of all this. Thank you.
So thank you, Eddie, for TV, for this opportunity for me to interact with my colleagues once more. Thank you.
AD4 TV Radio, with focus on education with emphasis on research and innovation, science and technology, women and girl child education, children, health, youth and sports, socio-political and economic reforms, security, environment, entrepreneurship, and entertainment will give you information at your fingertips. Learn on the go. Follow AD4 TV Radio on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. AD4 TV Radio, reliable and credible.
We love you, AD4 TV.